Welcome to my PowerPoint presentation. My name is Ashley Rowland, and I am a student at Chattahoochee Technical College. This PowerPoint presentation is in collaboration with my course of study, which is Introduction to Early Childhood Care and Education. Hopefully I can entertain your mind for a few moments with some interesting history as it relates to the progression of early childhood care and education throughout American history. I really hope you enjoy this presentation. I found this research topic to be an interesting part of our history. I chose the Kaiser Shipyard Care Centers for my history presentation project. The reason I chose this topic is because I was intrigued. I wanted to know how a shipyard and a child care facility could possibly be a value to each other in any kind of a way. During World War II, mothers were desperately needed in the workforce to meet the production needs for the World War. Mothers joined the workforce, however, there were several issues with mothers going to work. A few examples included employers noticing absenteeism of women workers as proof of the need for child care and other services. Advocates for public provision of child care captured images of young children fending for themselves at home. Children left in cars outside of the workplace. This also raised concerns about behavioral issues in children, juvenile delinquency in particular. With the country in need of as many working men and women, something needed to be done for the sake of families, children, and production for the World War. In the midst of World War II, the federal government supported programs of child care centers throughout the nation. The reasoning for this was to help with world production by allowing mothers that would normally stay home to work. During this time, the federal government implemented grants for child care services. If the community group could demonstrate a need for the service as long as it was war-related. This funding was made available through the 1941 Defense Public Works Law, Title II of the 1940 National Defense Housing Act, better known as the Lanham Act. Once this funding was made available, mothers could feel confident about having adequate child care while they worked. The company built 24-hour child care centers for working mothers in Richmond, California, and Portland, Oregon. Having child care in the workplace was a brand new idea. The Kaiser Shipyard Child Care Centers were government-subsidized schools. At the time, this seemed to be a perfect opportunity to test theories in the field of child development. In 1943, Henry Kaiser invited key figures in child development to his centers. Catherine Landeth, Ph.D., set up the Richmond School program, and Louis Meek Stoltz, Ph.D., a child development researcher, set up the Portland centers. Schultz and Landreth passed on after a life's work in child development. Himes worked closely at the Kaiser Wartime Child Development Centers as he was only 30 years old at the war's end. He created a series of pamphlets that included numerous topics that were specifically about child development. These model child care centers of Richmond, California and Portland, Oregon provided valuable research that has been used in the study of early childhood education for many decades since then. Nutrition and health were a huge part of the daily schedule at the Kaiser Child Care Center. Children were given routine checkups. Children were also provided with adequate nutrition. Himes documented research from the chief nutritionist about how there is a crucial link between food and good health. These centers also provided nurses and doctors. Henry J. Kaiser helped shape our current practice in early childhood education by striving for the best. Henry Kaiser refused to settle for mediocre child care for children. He hired experts to develop an educational program. Henry J. Kaiser went as far as having key figures come to his institution to conduct child development studies. I believe that Henry J. Kaiser set a historical example of how early childhood care and education should be in our centers today.